None of it has ever been about a diploma. It's about what the diploma means. The diploma is a key that unlocks a door to where you think that it's going to bring you or your business or whatever. But what people have equated their own diplomas to is to significance. That's it. Like, that's literally it.
Yeah.
If you don't actually need the diploma.
Yeah. Do you need it or not?
Right.
That's the question.
Right.
So how you been, man?
Good.
Good.
Chilling.
Chilling.
Been thinking a lot about my whole college diploma thing. It's
How worth?
Huh?
How the worthwhile it is?
Yeah. No.
I
It's
was thinking about it too.
really?
Yeah.
About my situation or your situation?
Oh no, my situation. Like I think more generally.
Oh yeah. But the whole thing. Yeah, but basically what happened is, so I just graduated college, so did Cal, and they walked the stage, did the whole thing, whatever. And you know, I got my degree in psychology and a minor in entrepreneurship, and I still, for some reason, owe $1 to Central. I don't know what it's for. I think it's like a part of a late fee or something. I don't know, but I owe $1, and so they don't send you the diploma until you don't have any debts. And I could easily pay the $1 and get my diploma, but there's a part of me that just like doesn't like it's like paying $1 for a piece of paper. Like, to me, the way that I literally the way I look at my college diploma is as a piece of paper that would be just as good to use as firewood.
Means nothing.
It means literally nothing
For you.
to me.
And to me.
Right. But and this is the thing I talk about all the time.
Objectively speaking.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're an A player and you go out and you want to start a business and kick ass and be your own boss, but you got a college diploma, why the fuck would you care? If you're an A player and you're starting a business and you're an entrepreneur and you're this, this is your personality, you're the A-type personality, a GPA, a diploma, a classroom, it's not meant for you. It's just not meant for you. Like, you go into class and you feel like you're a caged animal. Like, that's what you feel like. You're in class and you're sitting there and you have to raise your hand to go to the bathroom and you have to do all these things and you have to play by the rules and you can't make your own rules. And like, you're sitting here and you're just thinking the whole time of, I could be doing so much other things with my time right now. Like, I could literally be doing so many other things, but you're sitting here in class learning something that you know you're never going to use for anything practical in your entire life. And if that describes you, don't go to college. I just spent 4 years doing it. It's not worth it. If this is your personality, it is not worth it.
Why did you finish college? When did you, okay, first off, when did you know that you were this kind of person that, wanted to make their own business? Excuse me while I pick up my spider.
Right.
That wanted to kind of deviate from the mold, wanted to kind of step outside the norm of school. And when you realize, like, this was just not the path that you wanted to be.
I've always known that.
Yeah.
I knew that going into my freshman year of college. I knew that I wasn't the norm. I knew I wasn't the normal sheep that everyone was going to follow the traditional college path, get a good 9-to-5 with benefits, yada yada. I've always known that, but the reason why I stayed taking classes and stayed pursuing this degree is because I was afraid of the fact that I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Although I did know what I didn't want, which was taking the classes. And the societal pressure from society and my parents and from friends and families and peers prevented me from going out and just burning the boats and trying to do my own thing. Because the truth of the matter is, this freshman year, if I'd had the conversation with my future self would have said, hey, I know you don't know what to do, but just drop out of school and trust the process. Because I know that if you're an A player, which I am, what would have happened is I'm not going to sit there, get all lazy and miserable and sad and play video games and jerk off all day. I'm going to do shit all day, every day to pursue something. And that's just my personality. Yep. So if I had dropped out, there would have been this huge gap in time, energy, effort that is just sitting there waiting to be used up, and I would have been using it up. I would have been working for people for free. I would have been trying to start a side hustle. I would have been doing all this stupid shit. Maybe I would have started a sports videography business at the age of 18. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Who knows? But what I do know is the only thing that I was certain of was that I was not meant to follow the sheep path that most people follow. And again, there's nothing wrong with this. And I always put, the okay next to it, like Alex Hormozy. So what? It doesn't matter. None of it matters. Again, it's a game of complaining or not. And if you have nothing to complain about, that's totally good. Like, I'm not saying that you need to live this lifestyle because that's how I want to live. I'm just answering your question, which was, when did you know? And so, again, it's a big asterisk because people get caught up in the mindset of, let's idolize Gary Vee. Let's idolize Kim K.
Yeah.
Let's idolize these.
It's like the one concrete path.
Right. The people with money and fame. Like, how about we start idolizing people that are at peace? How about we start idolizing people that wake up and go to bed with a smile on their face? How about we start idolizing people that have a good relationship with their kids? How about we start idolizing people that have a good relationship with their creator? To me, it's like this game that we create within our own lives is just a game. And it's so binary. It's so, do you have a lot of money or not? Do you have a lot of followers on Instagram or not? How many people are liking and sharing your post? Like, it's such a one-dimensional game. And you're looking at life like that, and it's causing you to be miserable. But it's because you're not looking at the game the right way. Because the true game has many facets. Your relationships, your mental health, your physical health, your spirituality, all these things. Money is one aspect of it. Sure, it's a part of the game. But it doesn't mean it's the whole game. It doesn't even mean it's most of the game. And I'm not going to sit here and say that money can't buy happiness, because I truly believe it can. But I think it can...
To an extent, yeah.
Right, but I think it only buys happiness when you're already a happy person. I think it magnifies who you already are.
You're able to continue to do the things.
If you're the type of person that's going into making millions and billions of dollars, who's holding the door open for other people, who's donating already 10% of their wealth to charity, whether they have $10 or 10 million. If you're already that type of person, it will magnify your happiness. If you can go on the street and, you're making meals for homeless people when you don't have a lot of money, and you have...
Do more service.
And now you have hundreds of millions of dollars. Now you're feeding more mouths. Now you're impacting more people. And presumably, it'll make you happier.
It's not even really the money. It's the things that you're doing.
Exactly. And so to me, again, it's a matter of, how are you looking at the game? And to wrap it back, it's like, when I was a freshman in college, I knew from the get that I wasn't cut out for the traditional path. Take classes, get a 9-to-5, go down the normal path. White picket fence. It's not for me. It's just not for me. And there's no judgment if it is for you, but it wasn't for me. But I made the grave mistake by wasting 4 years of my life taking classes and going down the traditional route because I was afraid of the judgment of other people.
Was it a waste, though? Because if you never went to college, we would have never met. And this is
of course.
Point. And like the different relationships, the different skills that you've gained from here.
Yes and no. It depends
indirectly.
It depends on your perspective, right? It's the infamous quote of Warren Buffett didn't have Warren Buffett, because now my story is going to be a good story that other people can use when they're in high school or getting into high school. People that are in 8th grade that know they're an A player that aren't going to need the high school path, that can say fuck a diploma and start making millions of dollars at the age of 16 and live a life of freedom and of service and of what they want to do when they can, significantly faster than me. Right? Alex Hormozy is going to become a billionaire way faster than Warren Buffett did, because Alex Hormozy has Warren Buffett to learn from. Warren Buffett didn't have Warren Buffett. And that path is just going to continue. Yep. So it depends on your perspective of looking at it of, was me going to college a waste? It's like, for me, yes, and for me, no, because of the experiences and things I learned. Like, you can always look at it however you want to look at it.
Depends on what goal you're pointing it towards.
Exactly, right. Perspective. That's really it. So for me, I'll never look at it as a waste because of the experiences that I've cultivated here. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like if I didn't go to college, I wouldn't have cultivated different experiences that would have been equally, if not more valuable, depending on the perspective you choose to look at it from. 100%. But looking at it from a monetary view, for sure, a waste of time. Like if it's just like, are you going to make more money going to college or not? I would have made way more money.
Yeah.
I would make a fat bet that I would already have millions of dollars by now if I didn't go to college and just force myself to try shit. Yeah. Like I know that. Yeah. And so to me, it's like, was it a waste of time? No, because I'm going to be able to teach people to not waste their time. So that inherently means that I did, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way that I look at it.
Yeah. So kind of like what we were talking about before, like when you, like we were in our room earlier and we were fucking joking around about what were we talking about? We were talking about this exact situation, but like, how you owe $1. I was like, dude, just pay the fucking $1, dude.
Right, yeah.
Just get the diploma. It means a lot. You know what I mean? And and then what did you say to me? You're like, it doesn't fucking mean anything. No. I think you started asking me the why question. You're just like,
I win.
What, do you remember what you said exactly?
Yeah, because you said something along the lines of, I was like, why does it mean anything to you? You're like, because it shows that I worked for it. And I was like, but why does getting the diploma matter? And then you just started going down the route, and I kept asking why. And then I stopped you. I stopped you because I knew that you were searching for an answer that was going to be like a Band-Aid for another hole, for another hole that can only be ripped off by asking, okay, but why? And then eventually when you get down to the wound, you're going to be like, well, I guess I never needed it in the first place. And so like, that's what it comes down to. And the reason why, the biggest reason why I don't want to get the diploma is because I want to be able to tell the story of, I don't have my diploma. I don't have it. I went to college, I did the thing. I have fame and success and money, and I don't have my college diploma. I don't. And like, to me, that's like, it feels like I will be able to impact people at a higher level by saying, by telling them the story, because it's such a unique story of like, you could just pay $1 and get the fucking diploma. 99% of people are going to look at it. But to me, it's like, it's a unique point
way more significant
that's going to capture attention.
You shouldn't, man. You shouldn't get it. You shouldn't.
That's why. That's why I'm fighting my mom. My mom's texting me every single day. Get the diploma. Get the diploma.
Like, I was thinking about it because in my situation, it's meaningless, right? The fact that I got the degree, it doesn't mean anything. Why? Because directly speaking, it's not going to directly help me with my business. Indirectly, yes, it's helped me develop discipline. It's helped me develop different skills and traits and things like that. No doubt about it, right? No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
But if I'm taking a more objective approach at it, for instance, like if I were to get an accounting degree, right? That is a necessary prerequisite in most cases to getting an accounting job, right? You could definitely do it freelance and like, come up like that. But your degree matters then, right? Because it directly helps you get that job, right? But in my case, right, the path that I'm going down, for instance, sports videography, residence, or actually not residence director, sports videography or some other type of freelance thing without the diploma, I could do that 100% without that diploma. So in my mind, it doesn't mean anything, right? It doesn't. It's a piece of paper, right? But if you're using it as a path to, for instance, get a specific job, say to go to medical school or to go to become a lawyer or, stuff like that with more direct market value that you actually do need some type of paper along that end. Is that the best path? Maybe not, right? But that's another story. But the degree in that sense actually means something, right? Directly relating to that specific experience. But I think so many people just generalize, especially like with the conversation we were having earlier, that they'll kind of miss that they'll get a degree and then they won't use it. But they'll still think the degree means something.
Right.
But objectively speaking, it really doesn't, right? So regardless of how you feel about it, regardless of, just get it because you worked hard on it. Like, listen, if you wanted to just get it, right? Cool, right? Yeah. I mean, good on you. But at the end of the day, it's not serving you directly anymore. Right. It's useless.
Of course.
And
well, think about it. Think about it. If you were a business owner, let's say you're Elon Musk and you're trying to get to Mars, and you have a person that went to Harvard or any of these, top tier colleges, and they're applying for the job that's going to help you get to Mars. And then you look at another person that doesn't even have their college diploma, 18 years old, but you think that they're going to help you get to Mars better than the person with the Harvard degree is. Who are you going to hire?
Well, I don't know the 18-year-old, but I'm guessing he knows a lot. So
well, all I'm saying, let's take a different example because it's like there's so much technical that's such a hypothetical that's hard to wrap your mind around. Let's say you have a videography business. And you want to hire somebody that's going to do a good job of recording and filming and editing. Are you going to hire someone that's going to be worse but has a college degree? Or are you going to hire someone that maybe even they're 17 or 18 years old and is a kick-ass videographer and loves it and they're just killing it? Who are you going to hire?
The fucking young kid.
You're going to hire the 18-year-old without even a GED. Yeah. Because he meets the standard to get to where you want him to go and to get to where he wants to go.
Yeah, so that's really what it's about.
None of it has ever been about a diploma. It's about what the diploma means. The diploma is a key that unlocks a door to where you think that it's going to bring you or your business or whatever. But what people have equated their own diplomas to is to significance. That's it. Like, that's literally it. Yeah. Because if you don't actually need the diploma, why?
Do you need it or not? That's the question.
Right.
And if you don't, then you have to understand that it's useless.
Right. But here's the thing too. And I have this
in the sense that it's not directly serving you in this moment here and now.
Absolutely. But here's the thing is like the biggest college education that you're going to get in college is not classes or homework or exams. It's living with your peers.
Yeah.
It's living in a dorm with 3 other people and learning about life, learning about responsibility, learning about how your life is operating when mommy and daddy aren't around. That's the biggest part of college. It might be 99% of your education. Obviously, career dependent. But if you're going into most career paths, bearing in mind doctors, lawyers, things that need that higher ed, most of your education is not coming from your education. Most of your education is coming from learning about life, which is just being away from home. But the truth of the matter is you don't need college to do that. You don't need to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go and live at a place that you could spend, you can even make money off of.
Is it really worth it? Yeah.
You can get an FHA loan, put 3% down on a house, rent out one of the units, live there, and then rent out the other 3, make money off the house, learn a little bit about money, real estate, paying bills, maintaining the house, learn a whole fuck ton about life, of interacting with other people, how you live on your own without your mom or your dad there, all this like education besides school education, and then do your own thing. The conscious guys. Anyways, if you're an A player and you're in college, especially if you're a freshman and you know that you're not meant for that kind of lifestyle, get away from that lifestyle. Period. Simple. Easy as that. Like, no if, and, buts, or maybes. I know your mom and your dad are going to look at you and say, nah, you need to get this degree because you need to do this and you need to do this and you need to do this. You need to ask yourself, okay, what kind of lifestyle do my parents have? Okay. Do you want that lifestyle? Ask yourself that question. Do you want a 9-to-5? Do you want the same level of living that they have? The same car that they have? The same house that they have? The same happiness that they have? And if the answer is yes, then do exactly what they did. But if the answer is no, then you have to accept something, which is that although your parents want the best for you, they may not know what's best for you because they're not you. They're not. And if you're an A player and you get after it, and you want to get after it, and your entrepreneurial style of living is not matching to what your parents want for you to live, then you got to break away from that. You got to have that tough conversation. And the thing you're going to have to accept is that your parents may not be on board with that, and they may not support you on that. But you have to do what's best for you. And if that means you got to get a restaurant job that you're working 40 hours a weekend, and then you're hustling on the side and trying to do real estate, and you're just hustling and getting after it, then so be it. And if they're on your side, then great. But you got to be willing to do your own thing, And if you're going to live the lifestyle that your parents want you to live, and you know you're going to live with regret, you really have to weigh out your options.
Yeah, man. And I think it's just that's definitely my case too. You know, because like definitely like no harm against my family or anything like that, but I've definitely been an individual that has pursued my own path, right? And it definitely hasn't been the easiest. And I think for someone that's in that kind of spot, right, that is kind of afraid to admit to themselves and to their family that getting a college degree, going to school, really, if they could have done it ideally, didn't benefit them, right? Like obviously, you know, college indirectly benefited them. I think that's very hard for themselves to believe or to realize, and then to start believing in, and then in addition to that, to have a conversation with their family about, right? Because their family, you know, my case, a lot of people's case, right? Their family doesn't really get that whole kind of entrepreneurship, freelance kind of style. They're like, oh, you should go to school. Why? Because you got to go to school. Like, you know, some circular kind of logical answer like that. And I think definitely if I tell people this all the time, if I was to go back 4 years from now and I knew I wanted to do videography, I wouldn't have gone to college. No doubt about it. Like I found out I wanted to do videography as a career and a semester before I finished my college career. So, you know, everyone's path is different, but all I can say is if you're young and you're of the age where you haven't entered college yet, really start, and you're kind of in that spot where you don't know what you want to do, which for a lot of people is the case. And because barely anybody I know knows what they want to do by the age of 18 for the rest of their life. And most likely, I think,
why would you?
I think the percentage is actually incredibly high for the amount of people that switch their profession throughout their career. And like, you're not, I think the statistic goes that I think you're going to switch your career path or specific job up to 5 to 10 times.
7, yeah.
7 times.
The average
is 7, right? So it's significantly high. And
right.
I think people that oftentimes, and this makes a lot of sense, and it's that same idea of once I get this, I'll be happy, or once I get that, I'll be happy. I think a lot of people have in their minds, and I think we can relate to this a lot with the business, right? Once I get this new job, everything will be set. They get that new job, it's not what they wanted, and then they're like, they can't wait until that next step. And they keep falling into this mental trap where they think the grass is greener on the other side, right? When it's really not, right? And it's the current position they're in, whether that's, kind of like an internal issue or an external issue, right? An internal issue meaning they have to turn inwards and realize that that's what cultivates that happiness, right? Or externally, meaning they have to pursue something they're passionate about, like a business, for instance, right? The grass isn't greener on the other side, right? The issue is with you right here, right now. If you're feeling that kind of, and Eckhart Tolle says this greatly. He's like, if you're in a situation where you're resisting the present moment, you have to do one of 3 things, right? You have to either accept what's going on, surrender to what's going on, or change the fucking situation, right? And so you can either surrender to it, right? Be like, okay, I'm in this situation. I'm going to accept it as it is. The emotions, the feelings, all that. I'm going to accept it, right? Kind of very similar process, right? You're not going to resist it. You're not going to fight it, right? You're going to accept it as it is, right? Or you're going to change it, right? So are you going to change your job? Are you going to change the relationship you're in? Are you going to change all these things, right? And for instance, get the waiting job, get an FHA loan,
right?
Put 3% down and, X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Or are you going to follow along with a concrete path knowing that you could have done something else and not waste all this time and potentially money that will come back to bite you in the butt? So, I mean, that's definitely case dependent, but I think if you're in a spot like I was where you really don't know what you wanted to do, don't know what you want to do.
Yeah.
One, just start pursuing what you're passionate about, right? And don't, because I mean, this, I am extremely lucky with the situation I'm in, right? Like, I'm going to get out of college without any debt, right? And I think you're getting out with very little, right?
None.
And so, we're, in that aspect, we're very lucky. But some people to choose to go down the college path, that's a big fucking...
It's a huge investment.
That's a huge investment that you're not even sure is going to pay off.
100%. Yeah, immediately, whenever you start talking about this, I think about Alex, because Alex is in a tough situation because his dad, every single time Alex talks about no longer going to college, his dad freaks out. Really? And his main thing that he always gets back to is, even if you're not going to use it, it's a good plan B. If you're an A player and you're an entrepreneurial kind of person, you're never going to do a plan B.
Yeah.
There is no fucking reason for an entrepreneur to go to college. There is none.
Unless it's like that other entrepreneurship college.
Right. Yeah. Bearing that in mind. Like, very few exceptions.
Yeah.
But Alex is a perfect example. The only reason he's still going to college is because of how fucking annoying his dad is being to him. That is the only reason why Alex is still in college. Because I can guarantee you, if Alex dropped out, got rid of his Carbone's job, and went all in on the business, he'd be a millionaire within 5 years. 5 years. Tops. That man is obsessed. I know him. I know him well. I know him inside and out. The only reason why he's still taking classes and is still working his fucking stupid job at Carbone's and bussing tables is because he's afraid that his dad's going to flip out, which he would, but his fear
it's necessary
is what's preventing him. And here's the ironic part, is Alex is money obsessed, way more money obsessed than I am. And that's fine. I'm not telling you how you should be or shouldn't be. But even if you're money obsessed, even if that is the case, you would make way more fucking money by going 110% on your business and stop being half-baked with school and half-baked with Carbone's Prime than you would if you just went all fucking in. Just go all in. If you are an A player, go all in on whatever the fuck you want to do, but it better not be school. Because school is not for A players. And the people that are not A players, school might be the best thing for you. Oftentimes it will be. But again, I'm talking to the 1% of the 1%. If this is you and this is the type of person that you are and you know you are destined to be, don't waste your money on college. Don't waste your time on college. Don't waste your energy and your efforts on college just because you're scared of what mom and dad are going to say to you. Just because you're scared of what people are going to say when they're judging you because you don't have a safe and secure 9 to 5 and you don't start making a lot of money until you're 30 years old. But meanwhile, these kids are making 70 to 100 grand, right, fresh out of college. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? If you're actually that type A person, you're going to be making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x what they're going to be making in 5, 10, 20 years. You just got to play the long, consistent game. And you're more than willing to, because I know your personality. But if you're going to sit here and allow the judgment of your mom and your dad to keep you half-baked, you're going to stay fucked the rest of your life. Don't be half-baked, especially when you know when you're living in cognitive dissonance and how you actually want to live. And so my soliloquy is if you're a type A person and you're an entrepreneur and you want to do your own thing, you want to build a business and you want to get after it in your own way, by your own rules, you don't want to raise your hand to go to the fucking bathroom anymore, don't go to college. There's no reason for it. Stop living based on the fear of your parents or your peers or whoever, because it's only going to bring you to misery. And unless you want to live the lifestyle that your parents have lived or these other people live and have the happiness that they live and drive the car that they drive, don't mimic the lifestyle that they live. Don't abide by the rules that they want to live by. Don't follow the blueprint that they have written out for you. It's going to lead to misery.
Yeah, thanks. And sorry, I just clipped up this clip a long time ago, and I said blueprint. I was nice. Like blueprint, and you said blueprint. Yeah. Like it was like tripped up on the blue. So I thought you said boo, and I thought it was. I know, I'm mature. I know, but yeah, man, I think a couple things. The first thing is comparison, right? Because the biggest thing that I fall into and that I've been feeling kind of is, because like I'm off my job right now for a month and a half, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I look at other people, sometimes I fall into the mental trap of comparing myself to them. And I'm like, oh, they're so busy, right? They're doing X, Y, and Z, right? They're better than me, right? And so I think a parallel with that, and I don't actually believe that, and I don't actually like resonate with that.
I get what you're saying.
But when, like, you brought up the example of when kids come out of college, right, and they're making fucking $60,000 a year, $70,000 a year, they've got their own place, they've got X, Y, and Z, a car, they're going on vacation, right? Like, they'll compare themselves and they'll feel like shit, right? Because they feel inadequate because they're not at that point, right? And because they're comparing that way, that's the way they're conditioned, right? That's the way they inherently believe is the right thing to do. I'm conditioned that way. I'm sure in the past you felt that as well too. Maybe not, but I think it's really just important for people to recognize, and like I was saying before, you have to get yourself out of that comparison, right? Because it's self-imposed suffering on yourself. It's self-imposed inadequacy based on the comparisons that you're making, right? It's like they're on their path, right? Doing what they want, the reasons why they're doing that, that's that aside. Draw back into yourself. What can you control, right? You can control what you're doing now, right? You can control the comparisons you're making, the standards that you make, right? And ultimately the choices and the decisions and ultimately the actions that you're making on a daily basis, right? So instead of focusing on other people, which I'm guilty of all the time, right? And focusing on their path, right? Start to focus on your own path. Start to focus on the life that you want, right? Start to focus on the philosophies, the ideas, the values, the beliefs, the habits that you want to integrate within your life, right? Such as starting your own business, finding what you're passionate about, and just do that now and just block out everything as noise, right? And I know a lot of people will just be like, oh, Cal, I try to block it out, but then it just fucking gets right back in my mind, right? Like that happens to me all the time too, right? All you can do is just observe.
That's it.
Just observe. And those dominant thought patterns of you thinking about your friend that just got out of school and is making fucking $100,000, or of your mom's voice in your head, if you start to think more, that thought pattern is only going to be reinforced more. And what you focus on, you feel, right? And what you feel ultimately becomes your reality, right? Because the beliefs you have are a direct reflection, or reflect outwards and reflect back to you, right? So if you can start to draw back into those things, change how you feel, change your beliefs, change the way you're comparing, change the standards that you make, right? And you really develop that kind of tunnel vision through observation, and those thoughts are still going to be there. That cloud is still going to be over your mind, right? But if you can kind of take that quote-unquote tunnel vision and overcome that fear, overcome that anxiety of what your mom thinks, your friend thinks, society thinks, right? And start to pursue your own path, over time, your thought patterns will begin to change, your beliefs will begin to change, and ultimately you'll be moving towards a reality that not only will benefit you in the long run, but also people around you, because they see you're pursuing your authenticity, so it's going to want to make them pursue theirs as well, too.
100%.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, man.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, dude. Let's go golfing.
Let's go golfing.